Say something for the podcast. Tell the people what you feel.
I'm just jazzed about being on the show, man.
You are listening to The Objective Jerk, where objectiveness is the objective, and I am said jerk.
I am so freaking irritated right now. This country, oh my gosh. This is The Objective Jerk, and I'm said jerk. Been a while, been kind of busy. I'll talk about that more later. But I had a different story I wanted to talk about, or the whole reason kind of that I wanted to talk, but this just came up. If I have time, I'll talk about the other one. But so basically, all right, here. So I grew up obviously in the States. So I remember when I was in high school, or I don't know, somehow my birth certificate was lost, right? At some point. I can't remember exactly how old I was or what, but I want to say it was towards the end of high school. And there was something that I could not do because I didn't have like an actual, like I had a copy of a birth certificate, but they needed to see the notarized one. Something like that. And sorry, I'm sweating here. Oh, I got to turn the AC on. That's right. I just have the fan on. So, you know, my grandfather, who luckily still was alive and lived where I was born, was able to get it. And, you know, but since that time, well, that and being in the Army, which the Army teaches you to have copies, never relinquish an original anything, only give copies, right? It's good advice, you know what I mean? You don't lend somebody your passport. You don't give them your birth certificate. You give them a copy. And if they need to verify that it's in a copy of an original, you can show them, here, look, this is the original. You can see it. Here's the copy. We good? Cool. You know what I mean? And that's how it goes, right? Well, here in the Philippines, like they have to have the original. They give it back, but they take the original. And like, so my kids, you know, if they want to play like some kind of sporting thing, I'm probably going to get a phone call from my wife while I'm talking. Where'd my phone go? I don't know. But I'm like sweaty. I'm pissed off. But so my kids are playing tennis and they want to play like, you know, a tournament, not just like at school, but it's part of like whatever, which is cool, which is fine. But every year they have to submit their birth certificate. So we did it last year, which I did not want to do. And my wife was like, well, we'll get it back. And I'm like, oh my gosh, fine. Whatever. We got it back, which is, you know, but then they got to do it again. It's like every year they have to do it. And it's just like, you know, one of these times it's going to get lost. And for the kids around here, it's no big deal to get a new certificate. But for us, my kids come from the States. So we have to reach out to the US, to where they were born, and request the birth certificate, which most likely someone's going to have to do in person. And now I don't have any family that I trust or anything that lives there to do it. So we'd have to probably fly or something, you know? So it's not worth the headache. It's always better to keep the original. And I'm trying to, I mean, my wife understands it, but at the same time, she's just like, she's not as adamant about it as I am. And they're like, oh no, they got to have it. I'm like, why do they have to have the original? Why? They can see the person taking it in. They can do like a little affidavit, a little note saying, I viewed the original. This is a copy of the original, whatever. I don't know. Or they can make a copy of it themselves if they want to. But we brought them a copy. Here's the original. Look at it. Okay. And there you go. And now it's like, oh no, they have to. It's like, no, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing this every year because it's going to get lost one of these days. And then I will be pissed. And so I told my wife, I was like, you know what? Tell them to write a letter, and I want like the principal or whatever, somebody in charge of the school to say, or I don't know if it's a school necessarily, or if it's like the what do you call it? They have the schools, but the schools are part of a district. There we go. So if they go to like the district or whatever it is, and they say, okay, if we have accepted the original document, if we lose it, we will pay the amount it takes to replace it, which might require us to fly, which is expensive. So, it's, if they agree to that, then okay, I can maybe live with it. But it's just like, it's annoying. It's so annoying. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why do you have to have the original? Why? Anyway, that's enough of that. What I wanted to talk about was what would you call it? It's now okay for us to say Negro. So we can say Negroes. It's okay. I don't know maybe still calling people a Negro may not be, but you can still say the word because there's a movie that is out that I don't know the title exactly, but I know it has magical Negroes in the title. So, and I haven't watched the trailer, but I've watched clips, and it's the most racist shit I've seen. And it's doing horribly, which I totally am not surprised. But I'm like, what I am surprised about is that somebody okayed this and thought this was a good idea to release, Now, I think the movie could have worked if this group of magical Negroes, if it ended up being like a racist group, and the character had them figure that out. It's like, dude, white people are not evil. People can be evil. All races, all everything. You know what I mean? And if they kind of, did something like that, then it would have worked. And if they would have kind of showed that a little, like the possibility in the trailer, I think it could have worked. But this retarded woke, white people are the devil stuff it's ridiculous, And, yes, there are racist white people out there. You know how I know? Because this movie was made and there's a shitload of black racist people that are open about it. So there's got to be some white people that's the thing now, is like, white people that are racist, I guess, are covert, and then black people are open about it. I don't know. I've met, actually Asians are pretty racist.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thanks again for listening to The Objective Jerk. I greatly appreciate it. If you could like, subscribe, comment on wherever you're finding this, and you can also email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. So hope you're enjoying it, and please continue on with the episode.
I've met white people that are racist. I remember, people saying stuff when I was younger, or hearing like, whatever racist people say, but like not really thinking too much about it. But I experienced racist black people too towards me, I think I talked about it before, but I grew up primarily in Washington, in an area that was close to Fort Lewis, that was a military installation. So there was a hodgepodge of everybody around there. And so I remember, having friends with a Filipino, and he was friends I mean, we were all friends with everybody. You know, when you're a kid, you don't really notice it. I don't know. But anyway, so it was like I used to hang out mainly with him, and then he had his friends, so then I would end up hanging out with, you know, and it was like I was the only white guy. There was an Asian dude who was, I think he might have been half white maybe. And then, you know, some black dudes and this and that. And I just remember hanging out with them, and I used to get shit so much. And I just was like, I don't know. I just kind of, I don't know what I thought, really. But I took a lot of shit. But I think the last time I was like, you know what, I'm done with this crap, was when the older brother of one of the kids was trying to get us to fight. Like, they wanted to see me get my ass kicked because I'm a white dude. So this was like 5th grade. So I remember after that, I was like, okay, I stopped hanging out, you know. But it's like, I don't, you know, hate, or I'm not racist towards, you know, Asian and blacks because of it. You know, I live in an Asian country. You know, the only kind of racism I did was I assumed that all black people liked hip hop and did not like metal and rock. That was kind of, you know, and I remember the first time, did I already talk about it? I think I have talked about this, but it's not available anymore. So, but I remember the first time I was hanging out with a schoolmate, a friend, her older brother, who was like a senior in high school, or he was in high school. He was driving, he had a car, and I was in 9th or 10th grade or something. I can't remember exactly, but I remember, I don't know how the hell, got in a car with him and hung out with him a little bit, and then he had all the CDs of like all the music I liked. And I was like, whoa, I was like surprised, you know, like, you like this? He liked everything. He still does. He was a cool dude. He is a cool dude. I have not seen or spoken to him in forever, but I remember after high school and hanging out with him and stuff like that. And then it was in the Army. It was on SRT, and we had a new guy come in, and he was this black dude. He looked like Wesley Snipes. I think I don't know. I know I've talked about this, but we used to call him Blade or whatever because he wore sunglasses, and you know, he just looked like Blade. And so he, you know, he was like, I hate familiars, and it's just, I don't know, good times. It was funny. But so we were patrolling together, or we were doing like a stakeout thing. I'm not going to go into all that stuff unless you want me to. If you want me to go into my military, police, SRT stuff, then let me know. But so maybe we were just going to lunch or something. I can't remember. I just remember sitting in a car, and he puts in a CD. I don't remember what it was, but it was like more aggressive than what I like. It was like metal. It was just like, you know, and I thought he was like making a joke. I was like, are you fucking with me right now? And he's like, what? Oh man, this is badass, you know? Like, so he loved, you know what I mean? So it was a surprise to me. So that's about as far as racism goes for me. And then, you know, and I've always been more attracted to non-white women. You know what I mean? I mean, I married a Filipino. I mean, I think all women can be sexy. Redheads, blondes. I just was never, it's just, you know, Asian, black, Mexican, mixed, you know, whatever. Was always like, I remember when Salma Hayek, when I saw Desperado in theaters, it was like, what, 95? Dude, I was in love. I mean, a lot of people were. But she was like, dude. So yeah, so I mean, and it's, you know, there are racist people, and I think it's okay to make some jokes about some certain things, you know. Like, there's some comedians that make jokes about themselves that are black, and they make jokes about white, you know, the whole, you know, there's lots of, you know, and they're like innocent fun. I mean, they're a little racist, but it's not like hurtful or anything. And a lot of times it's true, you know. But the shit that's coming out now is just, it's ridiculous. And the people that are wanting like all this money because their ancestors were slaved. Well, it's like, you know what? Your ancestors, people enslaved them, captured them, and sent them over here. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I just don't. They think they act like white America invented slavery. You know what I mean? And the thing is too, I've talked about before, is like the people coming over here, the slaves who were already slaves, they were captured. It wasn't like white people went out and found these people. Ooh, I'm going to capture them and bring them here and make them do the work. No, what it was when the I guess pioneers, or whatever you want to call them, not pilgrims, it was after that, but when the 13 colonies were here and they down south, they were, trying to start up crops and everything. People kept getting sick from not malaria, but they were getting sick, mosquitoes and whatever. See, I'm horrible, but there was it malaria? No, it's not malaria. Anyway, so people kept getting sick. All the white English people that were coming over and they were farming, they would get sick, and they would die, and then pretty soon nobody wanted to. They were sitting there offering, hey, if you come and work this land, or you work some land for like a year or whatever, you'll get a free, 25 acres or whatever. They were doing stuff like that to get people to come over here to, work the tobacco fields and the cotton fields and all that kind of shit. But people kept getting sick and people kept dying. So they're like, no. So, work was slowing down. Well, word had got out that the dark-skinned Negroes from Africa, which is the sickle cell thing that they have, prevented them from getting sick. So there was a guy down south near a port or whatever. He had heard that. And so he knew that like a ship was coming in with these Negro individuals that were, I'm going to say it a lot because we're allowed to now. We're on the ship. So he goes down, he buys, I don't know how many, brings them to his field, and they start working, and there's no problems. And then all of a sudden word catches on. Oh crap. And then they start, and it was just, it was like back then, dude, it was a normal thing. There was people that had slaves throughout the world, and it was just like it was almost like, I don't know, I'm not saying that like it was right, but it was normal then, but I mean, the way that slaves were treated, a lot of them, and not all of them were, some of them were treated as good as a slave could be, I guess. I don't know how good being a slave is, but there was a lot of people, the horror stories that you hear, which were true and did happen, but it wasn't like every single plantation owner, you know what I mean? But look, hindsight's always, you look back and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. I mean, look at like the stuff in Nazi Germany, and you know what I mean? The crap that was going on with the Jews, everybody was like, it was fine. My neighbor's a Jew, just so you know. Oh, they're bad. They shouldn't do what, you know what I mean? Like at the time it was like, oh, I guess this is what's, Jews are bad and this and that. And, looking back now, or even after the war, a lot of German people were like, what the crap, dude? How, that was horrible. How did we even think that, or whatever? And what's even sad about that is it's happening now. That same kind of crap. They're trying to, you got people going to jail for the dumbest things. Like just recently, there was a table taken out of the Capitol building during January 6th. And so now people that did that are being arrested and going to prison. Like, what? Find them, give them a ticket, put them on probation or something, but you're going to put them in prison? Does that make sense for that? And when you look at the charges, it's like all the charges are the same shit that like the pro-Palestine when they went into the Capitol did, and you know what I mean? Yes, there was some damage done, but it was some windows. I mean, if you watch the videos, it was, I don't know, it's insane. I just, the people that think that January 6th was an insurrection are just psychos, TDS psychos. And they're woke and they're unhappy with their lives because now it's proven that wokeness, generally individuals are unhealthy, unhappy, and depressed and hate themselves. And so they want to make everyone else miserable. Sounds fun, huh? All right. We should talk about something else. I got a few minutes just to kind of stop with my rant. Well, my wife didn't call me back. I'm kind of curious how that went with the birth certificate. Okay. So, well, the reason I haven't been podcasting really, I don't know, didn't have much to say, but I've been kind of working on doing a little side hustle, I guess. I'm trying to, I think I talked about it a little bit, but I always say that. I've been, since I've been here, I've been trying to find a hobby for me to do that kind of keeps my interest and keeps me moving a little bit, especially when I'm in my shit low moods. If I know it's like, oh crap, I don't want to do nothing, but God, I got to get this done. So then, get me up and it'll go and I'll get it done, because being retired is not all it's cracked up to be, man. You got to have some kind of purpose. And so that's what I've been trying to find is a purpose, right? That's what this podcast started as. And it helps a little bit, but when I'm in my shit moods, if I don't want to talk, I won't, there's nothing to pull me towards, unless I had like tons and tons of subscribers and people messaging me, hey, well, when you get, or something like that. But, I don't, and I'm fine with that. So it's like I did mountain biking, which I love to mountain bike, but my lower back, I don't know, it kind of doesn't work great for me. I should maybe just get a street bike, but man, riding your bike on the road here is so dangerous. So I did that. What else? Dude, there's like a ton of things that I've started like a graphic novel, but then when I'm in my shit mood, I just don't care to do it. Like all these little hobbies, when I'm in my shit mood, nothing really gets me out to do anything. So what I think I found the thing for me to do, and it's basically just to make t-shirts, silkscreen t-shirts. That was what I did. I didn't do shirts, but I did silkscreen printing for vinyl and everything. And I dabbled a little bit with the t-shirts, but I think it was just a friend of mine. He worked at a t-shirt place and he let me do a little bit or something. It's basically the same. I mean, it's you print the same, with the squeegee and the ink, you flood it and then you lay it down and you push it through the mesh and there has to be a gap, and so all that's the same, but there are a lot of differences with the shirts and the inks and how you do stuff. So that kind of stuff I've been researching, and I built myself a little ink table, just a single ink table, shirt print table with a little palette, and I welded some stuff. So it's all ready to go. I got some screens. I have everything I need except shirts. Plus I want to get a few other little things. So next, I only have like a little budget for me to spend on myself on whatever. So I spent that already for the stuff. So I got to wait till next month and then I'm going to buy some more screens and some shirts. And then I've already got some designs and some mock-ups and stuff like that. And so I'll start printing those. I'll just give them to some friends and family and this and that, and see where it goes. I'm kind of hoping to get orders, I'm not trying to be like the next Balenciaga or something like that, but just enough to get me, if I have like an order of 5 shirts or something, and I'm like, oh crap, I got to do those shirts. It'll get me out of my bed and out of my whatever, and I'll get them done. It'll get me moving and and get me out of my funk. that depression funk. So I think this will work for me. It's just, it's I know how to make screens, and I did all that stuff, coding screens and burning screens and doing all that stuff. So that's not the problem. The only thing that's going to be a problem is like kind of marketing kind of stuff. Like, cause you got to kind of, when I'm in my shit mood, I don't get on my computer much or nothing. So, but if I'm hoping to kind of get the word out and just get things started. So when my shit mood does come around, I don't have a choice but to make some shirts because people ordered, you know what I mean? That's what I'm hoping. That's my plan. That's my goal. And I enjoy doing that, so it's something fun. I can maybe make a little extra cash, but I mean, it'll just be, I'll turn it right back into the shirt, whatever. I don't know, but that's kind of what's going on with me. Anybody listening to this I'm not doing any objective jerk stuff right now. It's like a whole separate thing. I'm sure I'll probably print some objective jerk stuff eventually, but right now I'm just focusing on like kind of simple designs and single color, and then once I kind of get my groove back and I'm having no issues, and because I'm saying, yes, I have a lot of experience doing it, but it's been a while, so I got to kind of get that groove back, and then once I do, I'll start doing multicolors and stuff, and then that'll probably be the first thing I try, maybe, is like one of my objective jerk logos things, because it's like 3 colors. But anyway, if anybody listening to this is interested, I do have a Facebook. I'm working on the website, which I don't know. I don't know. I think a website's kind of an overkill right now. But so I have a Facebook page, and I have a few mock-ups on there. So it's just starting. So, but check it out if you want. It's called Kalbo Inc. Kalbo. That's Filipino word for bald. So that's my name. I think I'm going to change it to Kalbo Prince or something like that. I don't know, but you can only change your name like every, I don't know, you have to wait 60 days or something. So I thought ink was cool because screen printing ink, because they use a lot of, there's silk screen printing in the Philippines. There's lots of people that have shirt, but locally though, I don't know of too many. They're all, what's it called? God, they print it on an inkjet and then they transfer it to like, I don't know how they do it really, but I can't think of what it's called. But there's a few different shirt processes, and so there's a lot of them around. Sublimation, there we go. It's called sublimation. So that's pretty popular, and people do that here. But I don't want to mess with a computer and a printer too much. I like screens. Like I was really good at coating screens and making screens, and so I don't know. That's what appeals to me. So anyway, check it out, Kalbo Inc. And let me know. All right, I think that's it. I'm way past my time. So thanks for listening to me gripe. Check out the shirt business, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye.
You just put yourself through another episode of The Objective Jerk. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Please email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, comment, wherever you find this, follow. It all helps. But thanks again, and I'll see you next time.